Things haven't been great for Nintendo lately. The Wii U has long been struggling to find its place in the market. Satoru Iwata, a brilliant and talented man who had worked on a number of successful titles, sadly passed away, and Nintendo's E3 show was underwhelming and overshadowed by strong competitors. Where people were celebrating over the resurrection of Shenmue and the remake of Final Fantasy VII, Nintendo fans were tearing themselves apart over Metroid Prime Federation Force and disappointed by a lack of Galaxy successor or sequel. So what happens now? Can Nintendo pick themselves up? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? With Tetsuya Nomura and Yu Suzuki giving fans what they have long been waiting for, isn't it time Nintendo did the same? The fans have been asking for a Super Mario Galaxy sequel for a long time. Will we finally see an announcement? Miyamoto has stated that there is indeed a possibility of seeing a third Mario Galaxy game. Dubious? This is a quote from the master himself. Just so there is no misunderstanding, I should point out that this doesn't mean we'll never make another Super Mario Galaxy game. It's not a concrete statement, I know, but neither is the idea being dismissed. The question is this: how likely is Super Mario Galaxy 3 to get an announcement before the year is up? Before I get onto that, let's consider this. Nintendo have never made a bad Mario game. They've made some average ones, sure, but never really a bad one. Now, I know some cynics might point out Mario is missing Mario's early years and Mario typing, but these are all educational games and I wouldn't personally count them. And as for Hotel Mario, well, despite its bad reception, it's actually got fairly average reviews. But feel free to dispute me in the comments. Point is, Nintendo are all about quality, and Mario being their mascot is a big representation of that quality. So when it comes to their fat little moustache plumber, they take things very seriously indeed. 1996 was a very important year for Nintendo and actually the games industry as a whole. It was the year of Mario 64. I remember standing in my friend's living room and to this day can recall the excitement and astonishment of seeing Mario 64 for the first time. I'd never seen a 3D platformer before. I wasn't even aware of the concept. I knew 2D side-scrolling adventures and that was it. The best 3D graphics I'd ever seen was probably the start menu to Vector Man, which I thought was pretty damn impressive. I was a Sega man through and through and never had any interest in the SNES, Nintendo or Mario. Until, of course, that day. That day, things changed forever. My jaws simply hit the ground and I watched in awe and in silence for hours as Mario trotted through the castle, jumping through paintings and collecting stars. It was gaming ecstasy and the single most pivotal gaming moment in my life, and I wasn't even allowed to play. That very day, I went home and I began to scramble together all my pocket money. I wanted an N64 and I wanted it bad. I did chores. Oh, so many chores. I pulled out the weeds. I washed the car. I did the washing up. I vacuumed the living room, etc, etc. I wouldn't give up. I had to have an N64 and a copy of Mario with it. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't want anything else. Then, the day finally came, just before the summer holidays. I saved up enough money and my grandparents took me to a shop called Special Reserve to purchase it. I got it home, hooked it up to my little 14-inch television set and started an epic adventure that would consume my entire 6-week break. I loved every minute, and after that I was hooked. I couldn't afford a Saturn and there weren't really any key Sonic titles on it anyway. I had Sonic 3D on the Mega Drive and Sonic Jam was a compilation, although I did want to see what the 3D hub area was all about, but nevertheless, Nintendo had me hook, line and sinker, and the N64 proved to be one of the best consoles I had ever owned, releasing gem after gem after gem. Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye, Zelda, Mario Kart 64 and the legendary Lylat Wars. I loved it all and I had no desire to get a PlayStation. Until Final Fantasy VII, of course. Oh my god. Man, did that game eat my existence. Anyway, back to Mario. In 2002, another 3D Mario adventure came out in the form of Super Mario Sunshine. And while the wow factor had worn off a little bit, it didn't stop this game from being an absolute incredible adventure where Mario had to collect shines instead of stars and brighten up the quaint little Isle of Delfino. With catchy music and beautiful graphics, this was another 3D platforming masterpiece. But it wasn't quite the same. Although an amazing game, it didn't quite seem to have the same magic as the first. I felt that there wasn't really any way that Nintendo could recreate that feeling of awe that I felt the first time round, because you can't really reinvent the wheel. Oh wait, no, this is Nintendo we're talking about. Skip ahead to 2007. Oh my god! I don't know how they did it, but they did! Super Mario Galaxy blew me away. I couldn't believe how incredible it was. It recaptured the feeling of Mario 64 and made it not only the best Mario 3D platforming adventure ever, but one of the best games on the Wii, and in fact one of the best games ever made. It was simply magical. The graphics were so colourful, the music was so catchy, the gameplay was so engaging. It simply had everything, and it's a reminder of how damn good games can be. It fills me with such joy just talking about it. It is that good. It wasn't a course of want it. I needed to collect all the stars, and the only disappointing thing about the game was that it came to an end. It came as no surprise at all when Nintendo followed it up with a sequel, and in such a short space of time. It was only the first 3D Mario platformer to get a direct sequel. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a phenomenal achievement. Not only did it manage to better the first game, but it was critically acclaimed as one of the best games ever made. It had wonderful exploration, exciting platforming, gorgeous music, crafted puzzles, and it's so brimming with joy in that Nintendo magic, and it just makes it just so impossible to put down. It set the bar for platforming so high that otherwise average games had no room in the market anymore. Nintendo has one of the longest and most loyal fan bases out there and would defend Nintendo to the ends of the earth, and to be honest, who can blame them when they have so much to be proud of? Nintendo has proved time and time again that they are one of the biggest and best game manufacturers in the world, and it's not hard to see why when they have been making consoles and games longer than anyone else. Mario is their flagship mascot and regarded as one of the most important and iconic video game characters ever, and has currently not had a proper 3D outing on the Wii U. Given what Miyamoto has said, I think it's highly likely that we'll be seeing a third installment in Glorious HD very soon. And to be honest, with that and Zelda on the horizon, Nintendo looks to blow the competition out of the water. Super Mario Galaxy 3 is a highly requested and smart business choice for Nintendo to make. The use of the gamepad could prove quite creative and exciting, and the right amount of time has passed to suggest we will be seeing another killer Mario game just on the horizon. Because whatever dark days Nintendo have gone through, they've never abandoned a major console and always managed to pick themselves up again, and I don't think this time is any different. With news of Nintendo's new console on the horizon, I'll be very surprised if Nintendo left the Wii U without a proper 3D platforming Mario game. I know there's Super Mario 3D World, which is a thoroughly enjoyable, well put together game, but it's not a full-on 3D adventure in the same way that Galaxy offers. Nintendo have been through a lot recently, but I have faith. They have big plans, that great things lie just around the corner, and that at the heart of it all is Mario. Although Ray was last seen in 1993, Mighty's last appearance was actually in Knuckles Chaotix, released 95, not 93. Bearing a striking similarity to Sonic, although not as striking as Shadow, Mighty has only made an appearance in 2 games.